Hi, Kay. I'm just looking at your email right now and responding, so I appreciate that you can make it today, and that we were able to get you swapped over.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks, Kate.
Yeah, sorry about that, Kay. I'm not quite sure what was going on.
No worries. Thank you for getting it figured out.
I think we're just waiting for at least one more member to pop on so that we can conduct the meeting.
I'll just say sorry for having my camera off today, but I got now 2 kids at home sick today. So probably be not fun to see on screen right now.
I apologize for like coughing and the sound of my voice at this time. I'm getting over being sick, so I was out for a couple days last week and working from home, and also home with a sick little one. So I completely understand that sheer chaos of that. But so I apologize in advance, but I'm gonna be sucking on a lot of lozenges. I believe there was only one person who said that they couldn't make the meeting, but I know that Chair Crow also let us know today that they were having difficulties finding some time for this. They are very busy. So I just want to acknowledge that, but I think maybe give it another few minutes for folks who might be settling in or traveling or getting to their destination.
Are you able to list who are the members of the subcommittee?
What was that, Jasmine? I'm sorry.
I said, are you able to list off who's the members of the subcommittee?
Yes, so we have Crow Crosswhite, Jasmine Wilder, Huang Sherry Tran, Kay Vincent, and Olivia Dudo.
Olivia's trying to join from their phone. They're having issues. I think they're talking with Kayla about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just received the email from Olivia.
Thanks, Kay.
I'm sorry, did you have those names or did I miss it?
Oh, don't worry about it. I got it. Crow Crosswhite, Jasmine Wilder, Huang Sherry Tran, Kay Vincent, and Olivia Dudo.
Okay. So did you hear from Commissioner Hung?
Everybody, so Commissioner Hung is the only one that said that they would not be able to make it today. Everybody else accepted the invitation and indicated that they would be able to make it, but then we did have that email earlier.
Sure. Okay.
Kay, have you heard anything from Olivia? I sent her the link I sent you. I'm not sure if she's just still having issues with that.
Not yet. I'll check in.
Kayla, have you heard from anybody else that might be having, is it just Olivia that is just wanting to like make sure folks are good?
Sounds like it's just Olivia. She can't get on using the public link and she can't, there's something wrong with her link. And she's trying now to call in and she's having problems with that now. She's trying to do it by her phone, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm gonna try sending her a different phone number to see if that works. Sometimes you think that you understand technology and then it throws you for a loop.
Yeah, all she sent was a text message saying that the number's not connecting for some reason.
Jasmine, did you have any issues with your link at all?
No, none. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I forwarded a link to Kay. I don't know if Kay used that one or ended up needing a different one.
I emailed Kayla to get a new one.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sending her another phone number and fingers crossed that works. Sorry about all the technology issues today, you guys.
It happens. Jasmine, just as an FYI, I think with Crow being unable to attend, I think looking to you to kind of help decide when we've reached the limit of just timing and waiting. I know Olivia is trying to get on, so I want to be thoughtful about providing the opportunity so we can. Oh, it's happening, maybe happening. But Olivia,
Hey, Olivia, hit *6 to unmute yourself.
Does this work?
It works. I hear you.
Yay. Okay, so *6 to unmute. Got it.
well, sorry
Okay.
the technical difficulties, everybody. And Jasmine, we do have enough members if you want to go ahead and get us started. I can also start with roll call.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with roll call and then we can approve minutes and move forward.
Great. Crow Crosswhite, absent. Jasmine Wilder,
Present.
Huang Sherry Tran, absent. Kay Vincent,
Here.
and Olivia Duda. Olivia, I know you're here.
I think she muted herself and then was stuck.
Kayla, can you just remind me so that I can make a note of what it is to unmute and mute? Is it star what?
It's *6 to unmute. And if they have like questions or need to raise their hand, it's *9.
Thank you.
So from where I saw it, Olivia has muted. Okay, now unmuted.
Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I said present for roll call. I have been clicking *6, but I don't know what's going on.
And you
So
didn't.
I'm here. I'm listening.
I don't know. You didn't look muted either, but we can hear you now. So
Yay, I'm here. Okay, I'm muting.
I will turn it over to you.
Okay, so let's approve the minutes from our last meeting, which took place on October. Help me with the date.
15th.
Our minutes. October 15th. So can I get a motion to approve? Or should I give you a few moments? Does anyone have anything they want to say about the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, I second that. I think I can. So seconded. Okay, motion carries. Okay, so
Actually, Jasmine, I'm so sorry. I know we're kind of in a time crunch. I just need to hear Olivia say that she approves. Olivia, if you can unmute yourself with *6. Okay, I see you unmuted. Do you approve the minutes? Mary, how would you like me to move forward? And you're on mute now, Mary. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there she goes.
There she is.
I'm hitting *6. I don't know what's happening, but I approve the minutes.
Thank you. Now you can move forward,
Okay,
Jasmine.
I'm going back on mute now with *6.
Okay, so first of all, before we like dive into the agenda, I'd like to address meeting time. I just want to re-understand how our Fridays at 2 became our meeting slot. I recall it being sent out in a doodle, and then I think that just became the standard. But potentially this meeting time doesn't work for everybody, and we need to revisit that, which is perfectly fine. And then, but can anyone confirm my memory about how we came to this meeting time, Fridays at 2?
Frankly, I thought that our next one wasn't until December, so I was a little thrown off when I got the email for this one. I thought we did do a doodle poll the last time.
Yeah, Jasmine, this is Mary. I think you're correct. I remember I didn't do the doodle poll, but I saw it. And I also think you're correct that there was one Friday, but it tends to be not a popular time, Friday afternoons. So if that's not working for you all, do you want us to send out another doodle poll to get a better time?
Yeah, I would like to have another doodle poll so we can, I think, people had schedule shifts and all of that. It was going to be once a month though, for sure, so with alternating months between communication subcommittee and this committee. However, I know governance got pushed, so I think we just ended up doing months and at the time. So that's where we're at. And then if this isn't a great time for anybody, then we can revisit that with the doodle. If Anna, you want to speak to that.
Do that, and I can send out a doodle poll later today or early next week to identify future times. And I do see it because it was reflected in the notes of staff liaison sends out a poll to members for future meeting dates.
Okay, so perfect. So now we know. Okay, sorry. So I am headed into our agenda. I'm like, do I have the right one? I don't. I'm looking at a communications. I'm sorry. Let me do this again. I'm looking at a communications agenda. Okay. Okay, well, here I am. I'm in the right one. Seems pretty simple. We approved the minutes, and now we're moving into review and discussion of the Human Rights and Equity Commission guidelines and policies. And then we are agenda setting, and then we adjourn. So I want to be sensitive to the fact that because we're having the scheduling conflict, that I don't know how much of a productive time we're going to be able to have with our review and discussion. But if we could take a couple of notes, I know one of them is whether the Human Rights and Equity Commission should be, the Human Rights and Equity, the which subcommittee, the communications or governance and guidelines should be overseeing is it meetings protocol? No, it's what is it that can someone help me with my memory of what we were concerned, or what governance was thinking might be a better fit for communications?
I think, this is Mary again, I think it was like the relations and the interworkings of the committee itself. You were going to take from the communication subgroup and put it into the guidelines. I'm just trying to look at that section. There had been a fair amount of work done on it from the communication subgroup. Just let me see if I can find it.
Let me know, Jasmine. I do have the guidelines with kind of comments from the October 15th, the spreadsheet. Apologies for coughing. If you want me to pull
Yeah,
up.
you can remind me. I've definitely actually read through those. I have, but I'm just, I do need to recollect what the different thoughts were. One of the things, can you just start at the top and kind of move through those, and we can have some discussion.
Yes. And I can actually share my screen if that's okay. I'll just go ahead and do that.
Turn him around so he's not falling. You just trying to not.
Can you all see the spreadsheet that I have up? Great, thank you. And so I think where this group left off, or where the section that you all had come to, was section 6. So then we kind of get into the subcommittees piece. And I believe Shelley highlighted the parts in yellow as areas that I think there was feedback provided to. And then there's a column here for notes as well from the group as that conversation was taking place.
To Shelley, the sections in yellow denote that that's code language that can't be changed. And then the other columns would be feedback from the rest of the commission members on this document in those categories. And then the last column would be the additional comments from this group.
Thank you, Shelley. So Jasmine, just let me know how you would like to kind of proceed with this conversation around subcommittee names.
Okay, I'm talking. Sorry, while I was muted. Okay, and I saw Shelley address in yellow. Is that what is unchangeable?
Yeah, yellow denotes the code language, direct code language.
Okay, yeah, so this is, I mean, this is like an interesting thought here, the first one. I don't know. I think at this point I need input, like how do we approach this conversation about what subcommittees need to always, is that something we can just address here with these commissioners, and that's not something we need to have like the entire ATRAC's input, or is this just we come up with what we think is best as a discussion point here and then present it to the rest of ATRAC?
I think that ultimately that is up to this group, but I would think that the group would establish recommendations or build out the language and some of those decisions around. I know one of the discussions that this group has had is around adding an additional vice chair as part of your structure. And so
Right.
creating those recommendations, and then what I can do is build those out into some slides for you all to present to the larger group around what kind of were the findings that you all came.
I mean, well, I would love to hear our other commissioners' input, but I feel that we should add an additional vice chair and see what logistics that would take, if any, or if that's just something we can recommend. That I think we're a large commission. I think that we have abnormal and a high amount of like community engagement that will be required ongoing. And so a vice chair makes a lot of sense to me. A secondary vice chair in our leadership structure makes a lot of sense to me, unless there is some other, leadership structure that somebody wants to present. But ultimately, the idea of at least 2 vice chairs is an idea that I think is great and we should push forward.
I agree.
Okay. Okay.
So then we don't run into that issue where, like one of them can't come because they have prior commitments or something. And I do think that we're all super motivated to get stuff done. So it would help speed things along, hopefully in theory. So I'm on board. Wow, it's been a week of a second vice chair.
And then Olivia, if you want to jump in at all on this, and I think that we can give the green light to Anna to, we can make this an official recommendation, I guess is what I'm saying.
Just give her a minute. I know it's going to happen.
One question for you all that you might want to consider for your rules. So the general council code, so this is for all committees and commissions. And this is what I talked about at the last meeting. What the city council code says is each permanent board, committee, and commission shall elect a chair and vice chair by motion annually at the first meeting in each calendar year. So that's what you have to do, is elect a chair and a vice chair. And you should do it at your first meeting. Obviously, you couldn't do it at the beginning of your calendar year because you formed mid-year. And I said at the last meeting, but I didn't see anything in that prohibited you from having 2 vice chairs if you wanted to. One thing that just comes to mind is if you all in your rules want to say, we'd like to have 2 vice chairs, do you want to tell yourselves when you would do that? Would you do it at the normal time when you elect the chair and the vice chair? Or do you want to have the ability to have one, so for the first HREC commission, you can elect the vice chair out of sequence, like mid-year. Do you want to go ahead and say that, or do you just want to have a motion that you can do it and not put it in your rules? You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because this time it's not going to really coincide with the normal election process.
Okay, but is it possible for us to, since our own election isn't really like our current election isn't in the right part?
Well, I think from
according,
now
according to the
on,
rules.
yeah, I think from now on, I mean, the next time around, you should be electing your chair and vice chair at the first meeting in each calendar year. But I think if you wanted to have in your rules that you want a vice chair and that the first time that you would elect the vice chair, I mean, it's almost the beginning of next year. So it probably works out fine that you just do it at the beginning of next year. Unless for some reason you would want to do it immediately. I mean, hopefully these rules will be adopted before then.
So my thought is that we do it immediately, elect a vice chair immediately. We write it into our guidelines that there is a chair and two vice chairs that are elected at the beginning of the calendar year. However, I don't think we should have an election at the beginning of this calendar year. I think we should immediately elect and then write that into the rules and that go into place in the following year. Does that make sense? Is that possible?
So you would like to not have any election at all for the beginning of next year?
Yeah, just simply because we elected, when did we
did
elect? When was I just elected? I was elected in what? Crow and I were elected in August, I believe.
Yeah.
So, we haven't even spent our year. So I feel like that's going to be a whole thing to like have to go through another election, but we can establish our guidelines after the first part of the calendar year so that it's not even relevant till the following calendar year, 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, feel free to jump in on this.
I have to say that Olivia dropped, so do we need to pause this conversation?
Oh, yep. I see a text message here.
Thank you for flagging that, Kate. We do have to have 3 members.
Yeah, we don't have a quorum anymore.
Okay, are we able to take a look at getting this rescheduled before the end of the month, or do we feel like that's too much in a holiday month? You want to push this all till December?
I will just take direction from you all on what you would like to see happen for rescheduling. I think I just want to acknowledge that I think Crow has a new position as well as grad school, and so maybe I can reach out to them and start there, or set a poll that includes some dates in both at the end of this month and into December. But I will take direction from our team members.
Yeah, I'd like to see if November is a possibility, and then I'd like to see December be decided too, with like the collective input.
Personally, I'd probably have to miss if we rescheduled in November. I work a full time and I'm starting a private practice too. So my capacities, even if I had it, I don't have it like the mental bandwidth. So I would much prefer to look to December if that's possible.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's do that. Let's be realistic. It's a holiday month, and everybody's got a lot going on, and more than half this month is over. So let's look at December. And then I guess let's look at December and January.
All right, I can do that. I will send that out today.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're gonna have to adjourn this meeting. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Yeah.